Warriors, welcome. I want to make reframing, emotional reframing traumatic memories very, very clear to you today. A lot of people ask me, Dennis, what is the one thing that contributed the most to your healing? Well, thanks to a handful of mentors of mine, I can honestly say that it was reframing. Reframing gave me the opportunity to discharge the discomfort, the pain, the symptoms in my body that were literally driving me crazy. Because I tried everything. I tried everything and I just couldn't solve this feeling. People gave me tons of advice on how to think properly. They gave me tons of advice on what to do somatically with my body, but there was always one thing. I always felt like there was one thing missing to complete the pie. And that's where reframing comes in. Now, when it comes to change work, warriors, and reframing past memories, we need to have three things organized. They all have to be in place. Number one is we need our imagination. We need to access this side of us that is so creative so that we can renegotiate these past experiences that caused us to feel this way presently. You're not going to overcome anxiety without first feeling anxious again. Notice how nothing is changing in your life right now because you're avoiding everything that makes you feel more uncomfortable, that makes you feel more anxious, when in fact, depth is our goal. If we don't go deep into the roots of our anxiety, we're going to live with this discomfort, this severe chronic state that we're in all the time. I don't want that for you. So the first thing we have to do is get more imaginative again, get more creative. When we were a kid, we were highly imaginative, right? There were things out there that weren't in the physical world, but we created them somehow, right? Some of us were tomboys, tomgirls, some were princesses, some were warriors, some were something else, right? I was a little bit of Harry Potter and very much a nerd, but no matter what it was, we were all very imaginative. So the first thing to reframing memories and making it very effective is to utilize the imagination again. The second thing is to get the body involved. Body-centered healing. I'm not a big fan of imagining, visualization, without getting the body involved. The body has to get involved because the reason for this is that any part of our body can store an icon of memory, fragments of past experiences stored in our body. And let me give you an example of this. Many years back when I was a kid, I'm not going to name names here, but I was in the back seat, helpless, hopeless, frozen, overwhelmed by someone in the front, screaming, yelling. And those screeches made me feel like I was a complete and utter mistake. I had failed not only that person, but I had failed the world and I had failed myself. That's how it felt in that moment. So I knew that memory had something to do with the lump in my throat, because I wasn't able to express myself in that moment, nor was I really able to express myself for decades. So that lump in the throat feeling showed up many, many years later. That was directly connected to that memory and directly connected to the fact that I could not discharge what I needed to discharge, verbalize, act on, do what I wanted to do. And so, when I got the body involved and I recognized where in my body I was storing that memory, My change work started to progress a lot faster. So the first one is imagination, the next one is body, and the third one is intention. You have to get your intention involved. Please don't go into hypnosis, NLP, reframing, my own particular work related to RIC. Don't go into any of these methodologies trying to get to the root cause of your anxiety disorder with hoping, with trying. A lot of people say, I'll try that. I promise you, if you have the right mindset going in, the right intention going in, knowing that it's going to take some time to heal, at least having that approach, and having the intention that you expect to heal, rather than hoping that the skill set works for you, you're working with the skill set to heal. Now the healing starts to show up. The subconscious understands your intention and begins working with you. So we need that intention. Now when it comes to the key components to reframing, here's what I'm looking for, okay? As someone closes their eyes and goes to that place, right? And I'm getting them to relax, and I'm getting them to leave what they're currently doing or places they need to be or what they need to say to people. Just give yourself permission to let go. The 4 key components are, number 1, age. How old were you when you first felt this emotional distress show up in your life? How old were you? Number 2 is environment. Where were you? Were you in your bedroom? Were you outside? Was it light? Was it dark? That sort of thing. What was the environment you were in that we need to reframe? Thirdly, what was going on? What was going on in that situation? Right? Get really specific. Tell me what was going on. And number 4, the people. Who was involved? Who was involved in the creation of who you've become today? What you believe is true, your core beliefs, your identity, your personality, your sensitivity. Who contributed to it? So we take these components and we recreate the picture. We recreate the picture of that past experience that the person has been avoiding and stuffing down deeper and deeper, never taking time to renegotiate that whole experience again. Now, we have goals when it comes to reframing. Let's say that we have all of these components at play. We know how old you are. We know the environment. We know the situation. We know the people. We got that. What are the goals? Goal number 1 is to safely re-experience the experience. This video right here, this one right here, will show you how to do that. And the way I do it is I bring your adult self into the picture with the child self. Now the child feels safer in that experience as you're utilizing your imagination. Then our goal is to verbally and behaviorally discharge, express yourself. In this moment, it's time to tell mom how it was, dad what he did, teachers, authority figures, schoolyard bullies, brothers, sisters, it doesn't matter. Discharge. Say what you wish you would have said at the time with your adult self looking over you. And if there's any kind of action that you need to take, walking away rather than freezing, running away if you want to, knocking somebody out if you have to, do that to discharge the emotions, to discharge this stagnant energy in your body. That's the second thing we would do. The third thing is forgiveness. When you're reframing memories, we get to a place where we say, I forgive myself for going through that experience. It was never my fault. I wasn't a mistake. I didn't do anything wrong at that time. And now what you start to see when forgiveness shows up for the person or for other people in the experience, they start to cry. They start to cry. And when they cry, you can really see how they're discharging all this repressed rage. There's so much repressed rage in an anxiety sufferer's body. I can't tell you. And that crying is the release of that rage, is the release of that bag, that heavy bag of emotions that you haven't dealt with yet from way back when. So forgiveness shows up as our third goal. Fourthly, we change the meaning of the event. I don't see it from this angle anymore. I see it from this angle. Total renegotiation. Total reperceiving. New perspectives over what occurred. For example, instead of seeing the experience of the person in the car yelling at me in that moment and saying I was a mistake, I reperceived the event. That person was getting their information from their authority figures. They were doing the best they could. They hadn't slept in a long time. Their diet wasn't very good. They had repressed emotions as well. So at this point, I changed the meaning of the event. Very, very powerful. And finally, we take the lessons. We take the lessons from the experience. What lessons did you take? Well, I took the lesson that I am highly patient. I am highly loving. I have reperceived the experience because now I am a better father. I am a better husband. I am a better wife because of what happened. So now there's more bricks being laid on top of that renegotiation of that past memory. Warriors, these are the components to reframing past memory. These are the goals to reframing past memory. This playlist right here, do it every single day. Pick any of these videos, okay? Because they're all grouped together. The majority of them are based around past, and there's one related to reframing something in the future. But again, I can't tell you how when you get the imagination, the body, and the intention involved, and you give yourself permission to let go of those emotions, and not just go through your day and say, I forgive myself, everything's going to be fine, my past doesn't equal my future, and all that sort of stuff. It's not working talking to yourself that way. You have to go deeper. So again, right here. And if you have any other questions on the End the Anxiety program or the Life Mastery program that will give you the structure, the complete structure to your healing of your anxiety, check it out right here. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. I hope this video provided some clarity as to reframing. Comment below, let me know what you gained, and I'll see you very, very soon. Never forget that you are more than anxiety. Bye, guys.